of solar panel wings measuring about 4 meters in wingspan. One of the ends of the solar panel had an antenna mounted on it. The spacecraft used some small thrusters for altitude control, but there was a large rocket for mid-course maneuvering. For protection, the spacecraft possessed a heat shield and a radar. Communications were achieved with the help of two 922 MHz radio transmitters. Aside from these, Venera 4 also possessed a barometer, magnetometer, altimeter, density gauge, gas analyzers, cosmic ray detectors, 2 thermometers, and charged particle traps. You see, the heat of the space race at that time was so much that neither the United States nor the USSR wanted to concede failure of any sort. And so, even though the Venera 3 had won the record for the first man-made object to impact, or crash, on the surface of another planet, the Russians wanted more. And so they lied a little about the Venera 4 mission. You see, the complexity of Venus' atmosphere made it hard for Soviet scientists to tell whether Venera 4 had touched down or not. When it began transmitting data, it was calculated to be about 16 miles above ground. However, later on, the scientists discovered that it was actually 30 miles above ground when it started sending data. Further investigations proved that it never made it to the ground intact. However, the USSR never revealed this side of the story until much later, when Venera 7 made a clear, uncontroversial soft landing on Venus. Venera 7 was the true work of art by the Soviet space program. The spacecraft set the pace for all others. Before Venera 7, the USSR had launched 2 missions, Venera 5 and 6, in 1969. The space probes from these missions returned some valuable data, but they never landed on Venus. Venera 7 officially landed on Venus on December 15, 1970. In case you're wondering how this spacecraft managed to succeed where others failed, it all boils down to its advanced technology. Venera 7 was built to withstand pressures up to 18 megapascals and temperatures of 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The actual temperature on Venus is below this value, but Soviet engineers didn't want to take any chances. As in earlier models, the space vessel also featured many scientific measuring instruments like accelerometers, sensors, and radar. One thing that aided Venera 7's soft landing was the parachute. The parachute opened about 60 kilometers from the surface, and atmospheric testing began almost immediately. At one point, the parachute failed, causing a seemingly fast descent. Venera 7 lander struck the surface of Venus at a speed of about 37 meters per hour.